And we talk a lot about community on this podcast as well. And you mentioned when I see many of your, like, is it family and friends and like different people in your life that have experienced, some type of burnout and or they don't feel like they're much in their role. How can we as a community start fostering environments where creativity and intuition are both celebrated?
Mm, that's such a great question. It's hard because we have been sort of taught to value other things, right?
Yeah.
But I think that these softer, more feminine things are really important in so many ways. And so, one way that I really like to foster them is through community and sort of open conversation about it. I get usually about twice a year, I'll join some sort of community um, where it's online almost always, but you have that sense of like connectedness to other people who are going through the same thing, or you're in the same season of life. Or if I can't find a community like that that's going to serve my need and my purpose for being able to communicate on these things and talk about them and work through with other people, podcasts, right? Finding podcasts of people who are talking about the things that you're going through and who inspire you, who are doing the things you want to do, right? And I think books, YouTube, like all of those things are accessible to us at either no cost or really minimal cost as a way to be in our creativity, express it, and feel held, within that, have some space for that. If the people in your life aren't interested in the same things you are, or if they just don't get it, they're like, yeah, it's cool for you, but I don't understand or I'm not into it. A lot of people I know experience that with their loved ones in their close circle. They're like, I have all this, I don't know, I want to talk about it. Or like, who knows, maybe they're into like astrology and the full moon and all this stuff. And they're like, yes, I love this, but their friends and their family don't get it. That's fine because there's like the whole world out there that we have access to. Find your people. And that's the best way to really start to live into it and feel connected to it.
Yeah, like I used to when I was a first time mom, I didn't know who to communicate because none of my friends were mothers yet. I was like, even though I was already 26 years old when my first child, this was like 15 years ago, and when my first child was born, but none of my other friends had children yet. So I actually had to like search online and like see what was going on. And I'm like, okay, where are other mom groups out there? And I found like Meetup was very helpful. I still have a lot of friends from that mom group that I still communicate with even though they moved to like Sweden or like Florida or wherever they've moved, but yet we keep in contact. And I feel like since the whole COVID thing, pandemic thing, whatever you want to call it, happened, it gave us the opportunity to use Zoom as a tool to meet other people, find other groups that align to our values, our interests, our creative side, like astrology. By the way, did you get a chance to see that eclipse on Saturday? Was it Saturday? On Saturday?
It was, yeah, it was
Yeah.
so beautiful.
I I was actually in a breath work at the conference during that time where we were doing like what is it called? I've never experienced this before. It was very interesting. It was sound bath. Have you ever had that done before?
Oh, I haven't, but I've heard of it, but I haven't done it.
Amazing experience. It was my first time, and I've done like a lot of woo-woo stuff before in my life, but this one was like amazing. I'm just like, I love this. So, anyway, that was one. Hey, if there's any apps out there on sound bath, go take that time for yourself, at least 5 minutes just to relax. And that's something I would recommend. But as I was saying about the community, it's very important that we meet with a bunch of people that align with us because we feel like we can support each other. And like a lot of my family and I, like, okay, we're family, right? But I don't feel like we're family sometimes because our thoughts are different. And that's okay. That's okay because I like to hear other people's opinions and get their thoughts and whatever. But I notice I'm mostly happy when I'm in my family where I've like my soul family is what I call it, where we are like, okay, I love you. I don't know you yet, but I love you. And you just know. And those are the people that you want to surround yourself with, especially important during recovery. Because all the old, well, for me anyway, and because in recovery, what had happened is I had to drop a lot of those people because they were just not serving me in any way. They were just wanting me to drink more because I was their drinking buddy. And so it takes time, but eventually they're out of your life and you start discovering who you are, doing creative things, which I loved. I don't know if you love this or if you try this, but those coloring books with those fractal outlines where you just kind of pencil in using coloring pencils and are just drawing. And it was so therapeutic. But then
Yeah.
I eventually my kids were scribbling all over. I'm like, oh no, it's okay. We'll make that like artwork and put it on the refrigerator. So it's like our mom and son worked on this project together. But anyway, so I don't know. I'm going off at a tangent, but I think community is very, very important. So yes, thank you so much for bringing that up.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely having an opportunity to connect with that soul family, like you said, is just like, you know them when you find them, right?
Yes. Yes. You know you when you know it. That's your intuition, by the way, right? So
Hmm.
you just have that knowing, you're like, yes, that's who I need to surround myself with. Yeah. So is there any upcoming projects or where can people find your book, by the way, or even want to find you if they want to work with you or follow you?
Yeah, thanks, Gina. It's the best way online. I'm at Grow Like a Mother on Facebook and Instagram. I tried to be, a cool TikTok kid, but I'm just not a kid anymore, I've realized. So TikTok is not an area I'm at, and I'm okay with that now. So Instagram and Facebook. And my website is jillwright.ca. There's links to the book there. It comes out November 26th. So it may be on pre-order and it may be in the world, depending on when this is aired, but it'll be available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Chapters Indigo in Canada, all the places you can get books. And yeah, I think it'll be a
That's
really great special resource.